Hi, welcome to Bucks Tactical Evolution. My name is Prince. In this video, we are going to discuss the transfer news of the club and doing the squad analysis of the club from goalkeeping department up to striking department. And let me just advise or encourage you to leave a comment and subscribe after viewing this video at the end. Don't forget to leave a comment concerning the transfer news, concerning the squad analysis that we have done in this video. Thank you so much for watching. And let's get straight into it. Orlando Pirates, when you look at the goalkeeping department, they've got Sipochaine, they've got Melusi Buthelezi, they've got Siyabonga Dladla. And for this season, it looked as if Orlando Pirates are covered in that goalkeeping department. But I can tell you for free that it's only because Sipochaine did not get injured and was not forced to stay out maybe for 2 or 3 months. And I think if that happens, that's when Orlando Pirates, they will realize that their goalkeeping department is very thin. And I think Orlando Pirates going to the next season, they should look to another goalkeeper, experienced goalkeeper that they can add to this department, because they don't have enough depth on the bench. And I think that's something that they are looking at, because obviously if Sipochaine gets injured, then Orlando Pirates, they will be in a big trouble, because as good as Melusi Buthelezi is, I still believe that he doesn't inspire a lot of confidence, because even with his feet, he's a little bit heavy playing the ball with his feet, under pressure, and even his distribution is not accurate enough. Even if you look at against Golden Arrows when he played, I think he misplaced it 4 to 5 long balls trying to locate his teammates. So he's not good with his feet, but even under high ball, despite his towering frame, he's not really solid as you would expect him. So sometimes he gives the vibes of Richard Ofori, because with Ofori's big stature, you expect him to be able to deal nicely or easily with high balls, but Buthelezi sometimes he's struggling a little bit. So I think adding another goalkeeper while you keep Buthelezi and Dladla will be key for Orlando Pirates going to the next season, especially where they are going back to the Champions League. Now, going to the right back position, I think Orlando Pirates currently they are sitting on 5 right backs. They have Dino van Rooyen, they've got James Munyani, they have got Thabiso Lebitso, they've got Bandile Shandu, and the young Ndlozi, Siyabonga Ndlozi, who has been doing very well. So I think going into the next season, Orlando Pirates, they will have to decide whether they stick to these players or not. But from my side, I strongly believe that Orlando Pirates should look at Thaba Mathuludi, add him to the right back position, and then decide with 2 of their right backs, either Bandile Shandu and Ndlozi, to loan them out, bring Mathuludi to compete with James Munyani, Thabiso Lebitso, and Dino van Rooyen. I think that will be good for the team going next season, because Orlando Pirates, they will bring wingers. Shandu is playing more as a winger, that's a wing back, but then Orlando Pirates are likely to bring more wingers in the coming season. So I think Bandile Shandu can go on loan, and Ndlozi can go on loan, bring Mathuludi to play the right back position. I think that will be good for the team. That will give them a lot of balance, because Mathuludi is very tall, and we've seen how height is very important in CAF Champions League. So I think he will do very well defensively and offensively, imposing himself in the box, whether defending or attacking set pieces. So I think Orlando Pirates, they need Mathuludi, because he's more stronger defensively, more solid than all the right backs that are Orlando Pirates currently. So I think it will be a good option for them to bring Mathuludi and decide maybe to loan out Bandile Shandu and the young Ndlozi, so that he can get more game time, so that when he comes, he's ready. And I'm not questioning that Ndlozi is not ready, but and I think he's tactically is very good. This boy, so he position himself very well defensively. But I just think that Mathuludi, Pirates needs him. But when he arrives, Pirates, they need to see what they can do to make sure they create space for him in that right fullback position, because currently they are sitting on 5 fullbacks. Now going to the the left back position, they've got Dion Hoto, they've got Innocent Mayela, they've got Paseka Mako, and it has been reported that Innocent Mayela the club won't be renewing Innocent Mayela's contract beyond this season, meaning that it leaves only Paseka Mako and Dion Hoto, and Dion Hoto is not getting any younger. Paseka Mako, he's good, he's there, but then there is younger Madiba, who played his first game against Golden Arrows, and because Orlando Pirates in that first half they struggled. I don't want to be harsh on the young boy, but from what I've seen from younger Madiba, I don't think he's a fullback. I don't think he's a player who will give you a lot playing wide in wide areas. I strongly believe that he's more of a central player than a player who plays on wide areas. Maybe in a defensive midfield or in a centre back, I'm not sure, but he doesn't have height as well. So it remains to be seen. But I think Orlando Pirates, as it stands, they will need forwards Basadin. Alternatively, they will need the Vuyole Tlapa from Sekhukhune United. a very good left back who's adept at both ends of the pitch. Defensively is very solid and offensively is very good. So I think Violet Lapa, it can be considered if Orlando Pirates they don't get Fawaz Basadin, who is more experienced at the age of 28 and a Bafana Bafana international, who can help Orlando Pirates achieve their ambitions going to next season as they are back in the CAF Champions League. So I think for Orlando Pirates that's what they need to do, to consider Fawaz Basadin, alternatively to consider a player like Violet Lapa from Sekhukhune. He's still young, he's 21, but he's very good player, solid defensively, and I think he's one for the future that Orlando Pirates they can consider. Yeah, for sure. Orlando Pirates they should look into that because they really need a left back. And then in the central defense, Orlando Pirates they have 5 very good centre backs, and I'm talking about Tapelo Tokin, Kosnati Sibisi, Bekezile Mbogazi, Olisanda, and Tabiso Sesani. But then, having looked at the demands of CAF Champions League, Orlando Pirates they will need a very strong defender who's very strong in the air, who's aggressive at engaging in the area, especially defensively, even in the opponent's box. And if you look around in the league, there is Nathan Fasika Idumba from Cape Town City. There is Ishmael Oliver Torre from Stellenbosch. There is also Tresa Chibwabwa Yamba from Sekhukhune United. I think those are the 3 centre backs that Orlando Pirates can consider to come and make sure that they have a strong centre back. You know, and they've been having a lot of injuries. So adding 1 centre back, but that one must be strong in the air, must be able to dominate in the air. And apparently, as it stands, Nathan Fasika Idumba is the tallest of all the defenders that I've mentioned. So I think it's one of the players that they will need to consider to strengthen the team, to strengthen the team ahead of next season, because injuries have proven that you really need to have a big squad, you know, especially in central defense. We've seen how these Orlando Pirates have been dealt with such injuries. Then we go into the defensive midfield area. In the defensive midfield area, Orlando Pirates, I think Miguel Tim will be leaving, no doubt. And then as Miguel Tim will be leaving, Salalo Rasebocha hasn't played, Azola Sobeni hasn't played. And I think Miguel Tim at the end of the season Orlando Pirates will leave Orlando Pirates. Azola Sobeni and Rasebocha will go out on loan to get more game time. And then that will leave Maketleni Makaula in that role. They will leave him with Goodman Mosele and the young Selepe, who really played well against Golden Arrows after coming off from the bench. He was able to hold on to the ball. He was able to play those progressive passes forward. And tactically, he was very good. Spatial awareness and tactical discipline really displayed those 2 qualities, because he was able to step up 5 meters in front of him to press and quickly come back into the area in front of the back four, because he's not really dragged by the ball. He's a very disciplined boy. He understands his position very well. And I think the Orlando Pirates, they have got something. But I would love to see Orlando Pirates having another defensive midfielder who's very strong in the mold of Patusu Obas or Sipepelo Sitole, Yaya Sitole. I think those are the 2 players that I think Orlando Pirates, they are looking. They need a strong defensive midfielder of such caliber, and I think I'm expecting Orlando Pirates to make that signing, because Selepe, as good as he is, he's still growing, and then you should be allowed to grow like others. But then Makaula is not getting young. I think he'll be given the last year, the contract. You know, he'll be given 1 more year. You know, of which will be his last. Then Orlando Pirates without Makaula, they've struggled a bit for solidity and balancing midfield. So I think they will need somebody who can come and really help Orlando Pirates in that department. When we look to number 8 position, Talente Mbata, who sometimes plays as 6, has been used more in the number 8, and Kabelo Khameni has been played in number 8. Karim Kimvudi played arguably one of his best games against the Golden Arrows, and he has raised his hands to show that the management they still need to retain him. And then you still got in Klonto, but I don't think Orlando Pirates have got a lot of confidence in Dabacheton Klonto, and maybe just maybe Klonto will leave at the end of the season, and then they will try to bring another midfielder to come and who can become an upgrade in that midfield. They have been linked with Confidence Namtachela from Marumo Kalans as well. So we'll have to wait and see. But I don't think Pirates, they've got more confidence in Nklondo in that midfield. So yeah, that number 8 position, Kabelo Khameni is also playing there. So with Mbata, and then Nkemvidi can also be trusted there in the next season. We'll have to wait and see what the next coach decides. When it comes to wingers, Orlando Pirates have got 2 wingers who are out on loan, namely Katlahotla decides Sekhukhune and Gilberto at his former club in Angola. and I don't see them coming back. I don't see the need for them to come back. I just think that Orlando Pirates should sell Gilberto, bring Daniel Msandani, bring a player like Prem Sandani, because he's adapted well in South African football after playing in Botswana, the Zimbabwean international. I think that one Orlando Pirates should decide, because Gilberto took time to adjust to football here, and instead of loaning him to a local club, they decided to loan him out back to Angola, of which complicated things as well. So I think they need to sell Gilberto, then need to sell Otladisa, who's left with 1 year contract. One year on his contract, and then when you sell Otladis and Gilberto, you bring Daniel Msandami. You look at the guy like Osono Police, Keleso Makhalwa, and Steven Titus. Those are the goal scoring wingers that I believe that Orlando Pirates should consider. You know, two of them will help Orlando Pirates, especially if Mofokeng stays and Nkota stays for next season, with Monapule Saleng still and his future still uncertain at the club. So that's what I believe that the team should do in that wing position. On the other side, Nkota and Bandileshan, they have been playing much that side, but then on the right side, and I think that's where Steven Titus comes in on that right hand side. He can play on that other side, even with Steven Titus and this boy Osono Police can also be considered to come and help Orlando Pirates on wing position, because most of the goals of Orlando Pirates, they are coming from these inverted wingers who are playing behind the striker. And I think that's where Orlando Pirates will need to improve. At number 10 position, Sinokolo Kwahiba from Chippa United has been linked with the club, and it has been reported that both clubs have agreed for terms for the player, but it's only what is left is for the player to agree personal terms with Orlando Pirates. Then Kwahiba is a number 10. He plays in front of Enoch Sakala or Ivanga at Chippa United as a number 10. So at Orlando Pirates, he'll be competing with Tito Masonga, Nyekabelo Tlameni, of which is a good balance because they offer different profiles, you know, different qualities. So I think Orlando Pirates will be good to have a player like Kwahiba. Is a fan of an international, and will help them greatly. You know, going to the strike force, there is Tsofatso Mabasa there is Buitumelo Radiopane, there is Evidence Makhopa and Zakele Pasa. And going into next season, I think Tsofatso Mabasa and Evidence Makhopa, they will continue to be the main guys in the team while they are still waiting for the return of Zakele Pasa. I think Buitumelo Radiopane should go out on loan. I think Orlando Pirates, they must make a big decision on Zakele Pasa in order for them to bring another top quality striker. They have been linked with few strikers, you know, the likes of Opoku from Ghana. They've been linked with Alfonso Lopez, a Brazilian. They've been linked with other strikers across the continent as well. But yes, yet Orlando Pirates haven't really had any solid links with a club, or they haven't made even inquiries about club, except from Piri from Zambia, who had a 10 days trial at Orlando Pirates. So Orlando Pirates will have to make a serious decision in that strike force with Makhopa and Mabasa staying. Then they will have to decide whether Radiopan go on loan and decide. And if Zakele Pasa stays, then still they will need to get a lethal striker who can score a goal almost every second game, because you cannot be happy to have a striker who scored a hat-trick today and goes the next 5 games without scoring while the league is going the other Sundowns is running away with the league. So I think Orlando Pirates will try to make sure that they get that striker to solidify the team ahead of next season. Thank you for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe and leave your comment at the end of this video. Thank you for watching.